Hey guys, Marco here, back once again from mycolorscreen, the place where you come to learn how to recreate beautiful Android home screens and lock screens. So let us begin with today's video tutorial where I'll be teaching you how to create a simple, functional, clean looking Android home screen. Let us begin. Boom. Great, so this is another fantastic screen by the author Peszek with his home screen CondensedHOLO. It is a screen of the day and I can straight away see why. It might not, you might be thinking what's going on here, or there's not, what is all of these tabs looking? Well, let me just show you. Say if we want to play some music, we just select our music tab, boom, do you see that? It just popped up and we can select play and it'll start playing our music straight away, and we can change track and then pause without any hassle. You can also jump to your social, you can jump to your internet, you can jump to whatever you want and expand them all at the same time. It looks fantastic and it follows suit throughout the entire theme. We've got all of our notifications here, we've got our weather, we've got our little greeting at the top there that says hello Marco, with our little beautiful icon that we can change to whatever we want. Say we want to change some toggles, say you want your Wi-Fi on and not off, we can select our little toggle at the bottom there and then, well, just turn it on. I really enjoy that. Tap away, it's gone. We have a single screen setup here that is set up beautifully. It looks fantastic. It's very, very functional as you've got everything that you need on this home screen. Booyah, I really enjoy this. You definitely want it on your phone. So without any further ado, let's bring to you today's video tutorial. Let's get to it. Great, so before we begin this fantastic setup, first things that you want to be doing is checking definitely in the link below for all the awesome stuff. So first thing you want to do before you begin is make sure that you check in the description below for everything that you need. This includes your resources such as your CondensedHOLO file that you can download as a zip, and you can either download it onto your phone or onto your computer, extract it and then place it back onto your phone, as this contains all the necessary files that you need such as your uzips and wallpaper. So definitely keep that in mind. Other things that you want to check in the description below is your apps that you'll be needing. So once you've copied this folder onto your phone, the next thing that we're going to be doing is to move on to the ssLauncher setup. Let's get to it. Great, so as you can see, what I've done is completely reset the ssLauncher setup, just letting you know that you definitely want to have the original ssLauncher, the paid version, as there's some things such as your labels at the top here you can't get rid of in the free version. Just letting you know now before you do anything drastic. Next thing you want to be doing is to start to get rid of everything on your home screen. Let's begin with these labels. We're going to hold down on the labels. It's going to bring up your little options here, and we want to select hide labels. You definitely want to have that selected. So you want to select apply changes now, and they should now disappear, which is what we want. Next thing you want to do is to get rid of these widgets here, that all the shortcuts, as we do not need those as well. We can just drag them into the bin at the top. And yeah, we just want to get rid of all those because we don't need them for the setup that we'll be using. So once those have been erased, then we can now focus on the rest of ssLauncher settings. In order to do that on an Nexus 4, you can just select back. Other devices, you can just go into your menu at the bottom there if you have a menu key. From here, we want to go into our preferences. From here, you want to select full screen. This gets rid of the notification bar at the top, but don't worry, you can still swipe down if you want to see what notifications you have. And yeah, that's it for your preferences, nothing much to it. We can go back now into our settings here. All I did was delete, if you want to delete this hot page, just so if you swipe across, you can get straight into your application page. But I'm just going to leave the rest standard, as you can do what you want with ssLauncher. Check in our link in the description below for a complete guide as well. That is our ssLauncher setup. So now we can move on to that really, really good looking wallpaper. Booyah! Alrighty, so for the wallpaper, very easy to set up. You want to hold down on the home screen and now select wallpaper. Now, because I'm using a Nexus 4 and we got that good old status bar at the bottom, things can get a bit tricky, and you just want to make sure that you just set it correctly, otherwise it won't look too good. For other devices such as your Galaxy S3, the one that have that 720 by 1280 resolution, I think you guys will be all good to go, as the wallpaper makes room for having a full screen. So like for everyone that has a status bar at the bottom, your soft keys, you want to select wallpaper wizardry. Other guys, you just want to be selecting gallery, selecting the wallpaper, and then applying it, simple as that. But like I said, for the rest of you guys, well, for the Nexus 4 users, we want to go into good old wallpaper wizardry. You want to be finding CondensedHOLO, that folder that you copied onto your phone. and you want to be selecting the wallpaper, the one with the underscore. If you hold down on it, it's called holo underscore hidden. So you just want to be selecting that one. You want to go into set now. You want to select quick. You want to deselect no scroll. You don't want it to scroll at all. And I just went for crop portrait, as you can pretty much just crop the bottom and it doesn't make it all squishy, as you don't want squishy. So you want to make it as close to the bottom as possible. And then you want to select set, and it'll set the wallpaper for you. So that should pretty much be it set up. And once it looks good, we can then move on to all the pop-up widgets that we'll need to be adding onto the screen. Alrighty, now this is going to take a large portion of the video, as pop-up widgets can get tricky, as it's pretty much just positioning them all into their correct places. Now what's good about ssLauncher as opposed to say Nova Launcher or Apex is that if you want to add in shortcuts, it's pretty easy to do. You can just add them however you want. They're pretty similar to a desktop visualizer. Now what you want to be doing, we're going to start off with the top one, which is our music settings here. So I'm just going to hold down on the home screen and now select new shortcut. From here we can deselect our type, and we want to select others. Remember others, as this is going to be adding in a pop-up widget shortcut. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We want to select our target now. We want to scroll down. Remember, you definitely want to have pop-up widgets, the full version on your phone, as you don't want all those nasty pop-ups all the time and the notification bar. It just looks really ugly. So from here, we want to create a new widget. I've created all the ones that are necessary here, but I'll just redo the music one to show you what it's like. We're going to select create a new pop-up widget, and you guessed it, we want to be selecting UCCW. So we're going to select our UCCW, and I want to go for a 5x1 over here, just because it's pretty much the size that we want it to be. It's gonna bring up our UCCW editor here, or list, and we want to select UZIP now. From here, you want to find that folder that you copied onto the phone, the CondensedHOLO. Remember, this is where you'll be selecting your UZIPs. Don't try and extract them from your computer or unzip them. Just leave them as a UZIP, as UCCW will pick them up like this. From here, we want to be selecting the music one here, and we're going to be and it's going to import it onto your phone. Now, if you scroll down a bit, it's not going to look too good, as you don't really know what it's going to be looking like. But I can tell you now that you definitely want to make it, well, for the Nexus 4 guys, you definitely want to make it as wide as possible. Try and get it as close to the edge as possible, because it makes it a little bit smaller than what the wallpaper currently is. So just keep that in mind. From here, we're going to be selecting custom position. Now, this is going to be the part where you're going to spend most of your time on, and it gets a bit tricky, but it's a little bit of trial and error, and it just takes a few minutes just to know where everything is. So what I mean by that is, if we say select input position, you kind of have to know where your widgets are going to be lying. Now, I'm not too sure, I'm just going to have to double check on each one of these, but say if we make the X coordinate 300 and the Y coordinate, say something like, let's go for 300 as well. Now, for each phone, it's going to be obviously different, because the orientation of the screen is going to be different. So if we just select OK for now, and then maybe do the same thing and just judge where it appears, and then you can just edit it accordingly. I know it is a bit of a hassle, but it gets easier with every one that you'll be adding. For speed, I'm just going to be selecting 100 now, so it's nice and quick. And from here, we're going to go into our animation. Now, for our animation, we want to select it to pop to right, as it's a really good looking animation. I really enjoy it. And now you can either select auto close and close by touch, just like how I showed in the original little mock-up there. If you just tap away, it closes, but you're welcome to leave it open, and when you open up your app drawer or go into another app, then that's only when it'll close. So keep that in mind. And finally, you want to give this widget a title, as they'll all be UCCWs, and it's going to get very confusing knowing which one is which. So you're welcome to call it whatever you want. For this purpose, I'm just going to call it music, and select OK. From here, we're going to be selecting back, and it's now going to create that widget for you, that pop-up widget, and that should be all good to go, because from here, you want to select music. So you're going to select it now. It's going to be that widget set up. But ssLauncher is a bit different, as you want to be selecting your style now, that as you just want it to be a blank PNG, or you don't want to see it at all, and you want to select just the icon, the one that doesn't have a background. Now what you want to do is say select icon, go into your icon menu at the top and select add an image. Now what you want to do is to find that blank PNG. Don't worry, it's included in the description below. You want to copy it onto your phone, and then just simply find it wherever you've copied it onto your phone. I just copied it into a random folder. So I'm just going to select that blank PNG now. It's going to pop it up or import it into this area here, and now you want to select it because you just want to have a blank PNG. You don't want to have anything. So now you want to select apply settings. Remember, says apply settings. Don't just go back, otherwise it will not save for you. Woo! So from here, it's almost done. You just want to select apply settings, and it's going to apply now a pretty little block that you want to be resizing. Why? How do I mean resizing? I mean pulling these paddings across here so that they take up that entire screen there. Now, if you're using another launcher such as Apex or Nova, then I do kind of recommend using Desktop Visualizer, as you can pretty much get the same effect unless you just want to add in a blank icon and do this. But I like this because you can take up the entire area over here. Now you're welcome to resize it so it's exactly the same width or area as that music patter there. You want to select back. From here, you want to test it out. You want to see what it does. So I'm just going to tap that area, and it's going to bring up that hand, that good old hand that we want to tap to show up that UCCW skin. Now, as you can see, it's a little bit too low. We don't want that. We want it a little higher. So all you'd have to do now is to scroll across. Let's see, go into our app drawer, and from here, we want to go back into our pop-up widget. So all you have to do is go into the app. It's going to bring up this exact same settings, and now you can just re-edit that music app just by selecting that little wrench over there and scrolling down back to input position. So your Y was a bit too low, so let's make it something like a 250. Go back 250 and go OK, and now select back, and it would have saved for you. You don't have to do anything about it. Once that's been set up, you want to select, you're going to select the music, and as you can see, it's getting a little bit closer and closer. So it is a bit of a trial and error experiment, but like I said, once you kind of know where that one is going to be, so I'm probably going to put it on 240 now, and then it should look a lot better. And you just want to be adding them each to the bottom here. So you know that I know that my X position is good. I just need to judge how many Y position coordinates that I need to add lower. So for my next one, it'll be say 300 or like 280. And then just keep going down the row until you've added in each one of these. So I've added in each one of them, and let's just test it out. If we tap away and then tap it again, it brings up each one of these, and it looks really good. I really enjoy this kind of setup. And it's pretty much self-explanatory. So say for the social one, you'll just be importing the social user. I'm not going to be showing you each one of these, as that will just take a lot of time, and it pretty much will be repetitive. Same goes for this one at the bottom here, the one that says show all panels. So you'll just be selecting the CondensedHOLO panels expanded user. So just keep that in mind for that one over there. If we go back, like I said, once you tap this one over here, it'll show you all your user at once, which I really enjoy. Great, so once those have been added, we're going to move on to our UCCW creations that we're going to be adding at the top and the bottom. So let's move into those right now. Great, so for the UCCW skins that we'll be adding in the top and bottom, very easy to do, pretty much the same method. We want to go hold down on the home screen and select new widget. From here now, however, we're going to be selecting not shortcut or anything. We want to be selecting a UCCW. Now, it doesn't really matter what size you choose for the top, as that's this today's skin, but let's go say for something like this one over here, 3x2, just so that it kind of looks the same proportion. Now, same thing applies. You want to select use it at the top, as you're going to be importing the skin onto your phone, and we want to be selecting the one called today. So it's going to import it onto your phone as always. It's going to import it, and then if you tap back, it should have that little hand over here. I just want to move it, hold it down and drag it to the top just so it's in that position. And if we tap back now and select the hand, it should import that skin. Now, as you can see, it's got Peszek skin there. I'm just going to resize it a bit bigger so you all can see what I'm talking about. So that looks a bit better, but now the thing is, you don't want your phone to be saying hello Peszek with these little icon there. You want to be having your own custom name with your own custom icon. Now what you want to be doing is making sure that UCCW is off. So all you have to do is scroll to the bottom, go into UCCW, make sure that your lock widget mode is off. In order to do that, we'll just go into our menu here, or menu at the bottom, and select lock widgets and make sure that it's off, as now you'll be able to edit any skin that you have here. Just keeping in mind that I'm not going to be editing any of these UCCW skins that I've added here. We'll get to that a bit later towards the end of the video. Now what you want to do is select that UCCW skin, and we want to be doing some changes. Now if you're not too sure on UCCW, check in our link in the description below for a 3-part tutorial on how to get you clued up on this amazing app. We want to be selecting background now, as that will bring up our select object list. And from here, let's just go with our first. We're going to be changing the name. We'll be selecting static text 1 and one that says hello Peszek. So from here, we're going to scroll our controls across and we want to be selecting text in controls number 4. So from here, we want to be selecting text and we don't want it to say Peszek. We want to have it our own name. So all we'd have to do is get rid of his and then just add ours. So I'm going to keep it like that, be selecting OK, and it changes accordingly. I really like that. Now what you want to do is be changing that icon there. I don't really need that at all. I just want to have my own icon. So all we'd have to do is now select image 1. That means that image over there. And we're going to scroll across to controls number 2, where we can be selecting our image. From here, we want to be going into our wallpapers. I tried to use a stock icon and it didn't end well at all. So I'm just going to be sticking to my quick pick. And let's go for something that I really enjoy. So let's go for a little Androidify icon here. Now it's going to be Massif. We want to make it a bit smaller. Go back to controls number 2, select scale, and let's scale it down somewhat. So let's go get a little bit, a little minus there a little bit, and that looks much better. If we scroll back now across to controls number 1, you can select position and just make it just a lot better position. So once you got it the way you like it, you're just going to select close it up, and now we can just select back, see what it looks like in person. And I think that looks a lot better. Obviously, I don't really like that white icon, but I'm just giving you an example. From here, that is our UCCW skin at the top added. We want to move to the one at the bottom. Now, the one at the bottom is going to be slightly different. We're going to be selecting new widget again, though. Still going into your UCCW. So we can just scroll all the way to the bottom, select UCCW. It's quite a large one, but it doesn't really matter. Let's go for a 4x2 this time, just to shake things up a bit. And from here, we're going to be selecting UZip this time. But from here, we want to be selecting the CondensedHOLO underscore notifications. Going to be importing it again. It's going to import the file for you. Just letting you know that if you get a white image, it will just be a white rectangle. To remove it straight away, and then instead of importing the skin again, just select it from that whole list of UCCW skins that you have on your phone. You're going to just select back now, tap the hand. From here, we just want to hold down and resize it. Like I said, I couldn't resize this like I did on Nova, just because here you can just resize it to whatever size you want, basically. Great, so all I'm doing is just resizing it now. If you just want to hold down on it, what's cool about ssLauncher is that it comes with that little guider there, almost like a little joystick, that you can fine tune it to get that skin to fit precisely on your phone. It looks really good. So I just want to make sure that these line up here pretty good. We just want to select back, and that should be it done. Now, as you can see, all the skins have been added, but now we want to be configuring all of our UCCW setups just so that everything works well according to your specifications and likes. So we're going to start off at the bottom. We want to make that little menu button here open up a pop-up widget, well, a toggle bar. So we're going to jump right into this UCCW skin. We're going to be selecting it. It'll bring up the editor here. As always, we're going to be selecting our background, which brings up our select object list over here. We want to be going all the way, well, to the top to hotspots. And if we have a look at controls number 5 or hotspot number 5, you can see that no hotspot's been defined. We're going to be defining it right now. So we're going to be selecting hotspot here. We want to be selecting shortcut, not app or anything, just purely shortcut, as we're going to be selecting a pop-up widget. Remember that thing that we've been using long ago? Yep, you're going to be using it again. So pop-up widget here. We're going to be selecting create a new pop-up widget. And we're going to be going for that widget called Power Toggles. So you definitely want to scroll down for a bit and then simply select Power Toggles. It's going to bring up your Power Toggles editor here. And there's not too much you want to be doing here. All you want to be doing is to remove any toggles that you don't want. Obviously, you can have all of them or add in more by going into Add Toggles. But for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to be having 3 simple ones. So get rid of the Bluetooth, just having these over here. Now what you want to be doing is changing the button colors. We don't want to be having this blue. We want to be making it a dark gray. So we're going to select the blue color, make it a dark gray, make sure that the opacity is on full to the left, and say select color, as now it'll be darker than when it's selected. Now the lighter gray one here, it's a bit transparent. We want to make it also fully transparent or fully opaque, and then make it a little bit lighter gray, and then select color. From here, that is your colors done. You're welcome to change the orange one. I don't really mind. But from here, we want to go into our background fill. Now, background fill, we want it to be transparent. We don't want to have a background. So I'm going to make it all the way to the left again, and it should be gone. Now, you'll see some things popping up here. That is our button dividers. We want to bring up that little menu here as well. Let's bring it up. And we want to make it hidden. So we don't want to have button dividers at all. Those are those done. We want to be selecting done now, as those are the ones we'll be needing. But like I said, you can always edit these in Power Toggles itself. Actually, it'll actually show you what you have configured. Now, same thing will apply. You want to change your speed to 100, your animation to pop to right, like just how you've been doing to all the rest of them. And then if we show it at the bottom here, we want to make these a bit smaller and a bit closer together. We don't want them so sparsely separated from each other. So that's been added. That looks good. Our custom position, remember that old thing that you've been changing forever. We're going to go back into it and now change our custom position once again. So let's just see what these are. Don't worry, for the Nexus 4 guys, I'll be posting what coordinates you'll be needing. Maybe it'll be the same for the other phones, just a little bit lower down, but let's hope it all works for everybody. So let's go for, say, a 900 and select OK. You can give it a title if you want. It doesn't really matter because you know what you're going to be adding in anyway. So, well, it's only going to be one power toggle, but I'm just going to be calling it power for now. Going back, there it is right there. You can now select it, boom, like that. So now when you tap that and your hot or your lock widget is on, it's gonna pop up with a little cool looking power toggle that you can customize to whatever you want. I really enjoyed that. So now you can start customizing all of the hotspots for all of the skins. Now you wanna be changing your hotspots by selecting your, say, your number 5 here, and going to say to number 1, which points us to our weather icon over here. Now it's going to open up AccuWeather. I do not have AccuWeather on my phone, and this is going to be similar to all the other hotspots for this setup, as not a lot of the widgets you'll have or I will have, so you're going to want to be changing those accordingly. If you select hotspot and then select app, you can now change each one of those hotspots to open up whatever app you want it to open. From here, let's say it's going for AccuWeather. I don't want AccuWeather because I don't have it. I want Iron Sky instead. So I'm going to select Iron Sky, and now it sets that hotspot quick and simple. And now when you select lock widgets on, it'll open up Iron Sky when you select it. All you want to be doing now is to change each one of those according to each one of whatever apps that you would want. One thing you want to definitely do is now change your Gmail account setup here, as it looks really ugly. You want to have it showing you how many emails that you have on your phone. So back again, once to the select object list, you want to go into Gmail 1 now. It's going to select that for you. You want to scroll across all the way to controls number 5. From here, you're going to be selecting your account. It's going to come up with your Gmail accounts and select a Gmail account accordingly. Go into label and select inbox. Now a lot of people are complaining that it just shows dashes there. That I think is because that you have your new Gmail set to those promotional and social labels. If you go into your desktop mode, it should come up with those. You want to be deselecting those. You don't want to have those labels at all. Now what you want to be doing is going, once you've, like, I'm just going to be turning it on now, but I don't recommend that. I first recommend that you change each one of your different hotspots for each one of the different UCCW widgets that you've opened up. And from here, you want to select your menu, lock widgets, and then say on. So it should be setting all your hotspots for all the different widgets that you've added. So like I said, I want to open up Iron Sky. I'm just going to select that over there, and it opens up Iron Sky. Boom, just like that. So I really enjoyed that. Let's just see now, remember our power toggles that we configured, and see what it's going to look like if we select it. Yes, perfect. Wow, that surprised me because it normally takes me about 3 or 4 attempts. So like I said, it's a pop-up widget, so you can turn your Wi-Fi off just by selecting it like that. Boom, it's now off. Well, it's turning off, and that's pretty much it. So final thing that you want to do, because the music one over here uses media utilities to play the music, we want to go into our media utilities app. So very easy, we just have to select it. It's going to bring up the app. It's free, it's in beta, and you definitely want to have this on your phone if you really enjoy music. You want to go into your menu. Here you want to go into your settings. Your menu, if on another phone, should just be at the bottom. We want to be scrolling down and then looking for application integration, this menu over here. Now it's got all the different apps that we've added, but the one thing you definitely want to be having selected is UCCW, as that's the app that we are using. So make sure that is selected, otherwise your music's not going to play too good. So this is tested out. If we select our music skin here, remember not to change anything for these buttons over here, as it's predefined by media utilities to play, pause and rewind, well, a previous track, so don't touch the music one. This is the setup complete. If you have any questions or queries, please leave them in the comment section below. If you did like it, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. You also definitely want to check out our Facebook, Google+, Twitter community and Instagram community. As yeah, this is Marco here from mycolorscreen, and as always, don't stop customizing. Boom.